Good morning, everyone. This is Neera from Complinity, and I would like to welcome all of you in today's training. As Sana said, today is very comprehensive and detailed training onto the secretarial module on the request of the various users. Because earlier we used to go in detail, touch base on all the modules. So it is very vital for all of us to explain properly how the secretarial module works, and you all are the experts, domain experts, and we are providing you the application to marry your expertise with the tool. So you don't, all the data is digitized and centrally stored, so you don't have to maintain manual registers and other things. So let me first stop it. Let me share my screen with you. Just give me a minute, please. Can you all see my screen? That is very important. And second thing, am I audible to all of you clearly? Okay. So it is very important that you can hear me out clearly, and if you have any query in between, what I will do, I will explain and give a break after the logical when I complete one session and logical ending, then we'll have a pause for 2 minutes. If anyone has a question, then you can, because at the end of the session, if we ask you to raise question, then you may forget it, that how to, because it's a process. So let me start with, this is the login screen. So this, as you know, that the Complinity is a very comprehensive integrated product where we have a 12 modules launched for the PCS organization, and we are providing services to enterprise clients, as well as we are providing services to PCS now customers, and also to cloud clients. We have almost 3,500 organizations have been integrated. Now PCS organization, they are using it, and almost 100 organization, self-organization, which we are providing, and 10 to 12 enterprise organization. So in totality, we are providing the services to almost more than 200 organizations. And this is, if you see here, complinity.com. So when you have registered into the Complinity, then you must have received an email with your login credentials. So there you will be having URL of your own organization, and when you say, you enter your URL here and click onto the login screen. So when you click onto the login screen, you will have this Complinity login screen. There you need to enter the email address which you have received via email from the Complinity. You will have email address and password. So basically, email address and password, when you enter, it will allow you to log in into our Complinity tool. Before we go into the tool, I also want to mention here that if you have forgotten the password, then you can click onto the reset password button. Mail will go to your email address you will receive, and you can reset your password, follow the instructions, and again log in with that password. So basically, this is the login credentials, and no one else from our organization can log in into your system, because it's a very secure system. And in our organization, we have 50 to 60 people, and all together, only 1 or 2 people from the support team can access. In case you are facing any problem, we log in. So system is very secure, and it is launched on Amazon Web Services and very secure HTTPS server protocol. So you don't have to worry about your data. Data is very secure. So let me log in into the system. As I said, enter the URL and enter your email address and your password and click onto the login. So now when I click in the login, so it is a Complinity. Complinity is all bundled with the 12 products. So 6 products you will always see on the top. Sorry. So you see secretarial, compliance, contract, documents, legal updates, help desk, and additional more. If you click onto the more button, you will see additional modules. I will just touch base 1 minute in all the modules. You know, sectorial, we are providing you the FEMA, Company Act, CGST, income tax. All these are provided to you, and SEBI also. So you can map the compliances. You can provide the services to your clients, even for your own company also. You can do the compliances. And then contracts, if you have if you have contracts for your organization, or if you're managing services, providing services to other organization, companies, you can upload or you can create contracts for them. And any document which you're uploading into the system, you can see the consolidated view of all the documents in the document management system. Legal updates are linked to the compliance. So any new laws or any changes happen as per the statutory or government GRC, it is updated directly into the system. So legal update, you see all the updates which are publishing by the government. Help desk is very important. Maybe if you need any clarification, then you can, or if you have any issue, you click onto the help desk module, and it is very self-explanatory. You click on plus icon and you can raise the ticket into the help desk. Assignment is that if you're doing providing services, you can maintain the timesheets for your own organization, and also to when you're providing services to other organization, you can manage the timesheets and you can assign the responsibility to your team. Registration, you must be having registration for your own company, which may expire after some time. So the system automatically give you the reminders. The beauty of this Complinity, the very important functionality, you don't have to remember anything. Our system will keep sending you reminders that when the action is due for you, couple of days before, or for like contract and insurance and registration, you will get a reminder even 2 months before. Please pardon me. Then litigation, if you have any notices you are receiving, or you are maintaining some other organization cases and notices, so you can use the litigation module. Assessment, if you are getting income tax assessment, GST, customs and all that, can be managed by the assessment tool. Task is that you can manage your own task. You can, suppose you have five resources in organization and you want to assign the task, and you can assign the task to them and they will get a reminder. And you will also get the reminder when the person has not completed the task. Insurance, like you have or insurance, or you're having your client's insurance, you can manage, you can maintain with the insurance. As we discussed earlier, so this is Complinity is very comprehensive tool. We are the only one of the provider which are giving you all the modules within one GRC product. So this is basically, we have covered very briefly what is the each product module works. So now I'm just entering into the technical perspective for the secretarial module. Before going secretarial module, there are some common masters. What do you mean by common masters? Common master means you need to set up your configuration. You need to configure few of the entities, few of the location department which will be used across the product. So let me see, wherever your name will be appearing, when you log in into the system, your name will appear. You see this drop down. You click onto this, then you will see the setup screen. Setup screen will tell you that what all needs to be done to make yourself enable your organization. You will see all the blue boxes here if you have not started using. So you need to create the client groups. Suppose when you log in, by default, we create one client group for you, one entity for you, because you are registering. So it has to be registered, your group, your entity. And when you are providing services to other client groups, so you can create the client groups, you can create the entities within that client group, and your own locations wherever you are, your office is there. Then departments, your department you are dealing with, and the users. So minimum 5 users you can create it, and you can create more based on your package. And then you can click on go live. So this is just basic setup for your understanding. So now let me go to the organization. So these are the common masters. Again, I'm repeating, this will be used across the product. So when you want to know about your organization detail, so you see here is in all product, you see the I button. I button means is a view. So you can see the details about your organization. So whatever details you, when during the registration you have provided, you will be able to see that. And for you, how many entity you can create. See, this will also, you will see maximum allowed means, I think for PCS user basic package, you can create 100 entities. Some location number will be there, users 5, and training is I think there are by default 3 or 5, and storage capacity and name of your company organization. Suppose you have registered, then your email address will be here. So this is a basic information. When you have registered, this has been created by Complinity tool itself. So this is organization detail. Now let's come to the client group. What client group means, if you, first you, when you log in, you will see your organization over here. And when you are providing services to additional client group, additional groups, so you can create by the plus icon. So just to give you very broad understanding, whenever you see in product in any module, plus icon means create a new record. Down arrow means you can download the data, whatever you are seeing on this table grid, into the Excel file. So, and you see this pencil icon. Pencil icon means a modification. So you can modify the record. If I go here, if I want to modify, I can modify the record over here. So basically, these are the client groups which you have to create it for your organization. By default, your client group, your organization name will be appearing as a client group. And the second is that entity, because you will be within one client group, you'll be having multiple entities, multiple companies, which you can say. So let me create one entity for an example for you. So I'm selecting client group, Xerox group, and then I'm entering here Xerox, maybe Bangalore. And then you have, I'm just giving Xerox BLR, because I'll be using this entity into the, when I'll explain you how to use a sectorial module and other modules. So this entity will be used by me, and entity type, if I'm saying is a public, and then I'm entering. So this is the SIN number. And second thing important to know, wherever you see the red asterisk means the mandatory information. So in this, when I'm creating add a entity, all this information is mandatory. So let's add one entity. And this one, like I have just created, so you can do the search. So you see here for Xerox group, there are 2 entities and there are 2 initials, and I can go and change this also. If I'll say, so this way you can modify. I'll just explain at least one, how you can add, how you can modify, so you'll be able to understand. So now we say how to create client group. Then within client group, you can create entity, and then you also can create location. So location is very self-explanatory. Just you can location name, country, state, and address. So you see address is not mandatory, other part is mandatory. So you can enter location, then you can create a department, and same department, or and then you can create here a user. User is very important, because what will happen when you create user, so you can see, you are creating users for your own organization, means your own client group, and you can also create a user for your other client groups for whom you are providing the services. Why we have to differentiation? Because you would not like to see other client group user to see all the data. So when you say the client user, so then you see all other information. If you have then based on your requirement, you can create the client user if you want them to see the data what you are creating for them. Suppose I'm in Complinity Technologies and I want to create one user from Xerox Group and I want them to see the data, what I'm doing for the Xerox. So then I'll create the client user. Otherwise, you say firm user, then you enter the first name, last name, email address. This is the email address which the person will receive into the email, and then they can log in with this email address. So when you create any new user, always remember email will go to that user whom you have created just now. And you say the department and you which client group belongs to, then location and all other details you can enter, and who is the manager. Manager is not mandatory, as you have seen. Last name is not mandatory, so you can skip this information. And you can also tell that all the products which are mapped to your organization, whether you want to assign those products to that person. So you can remove the products also based on the usage. If you do not want to give the access to other users to all the products, then you can remove, you can delete the product from here. So that's way you can create the user. So what we have done, this we call the common masters. So because once you have the set of the common masters, then you can use any the module. And always remember to use the compliance module. You must have two users in the company, because compliance you need to have an owner and manager relationship. So you need to have at least two users to start using the compliance module. So now we have covered how you can log in into the system, and how you all the products which are displayed on the dashboard, and these are the common master. I'll give a pause for a minute. Any question? Please ask the question.
Neera ma'am, this is Sanad here.
Yeah.
So I believe you are the panelist. So we can request the attendees to raise their hand, and we can, since you are the host, you can give them access to speak directly. So any attendees, you want any information about the common masters that Ms. Neera just explained? Please raise your hand in the chat, or yeah, I think we have got one. So there is a question on max entity allowed is 20 and storage is 124 MB. Is it available per entity?
Yeah, you can address the question if you.
So the number of entities allowed is 100. This is a demo account, so it is showing 20, but the total number of entities for the free user package is 100. Okay, and the total storage space is I think 10 GB. Yeah, it's 10 GB. So that is total in number of GBs that you can use. It is not entity specific. I hope I have answered your question.
There is somebody who has also raised hand.
Yeah, so, I think Neera ma'am, can you make
Sanad, even you can do that. So
I am not getting the option.
Okay, let me do that then.
Okay, because I am not getting the option. Yeah.
What is the use of address? Okay, I saw that.
So Sahu has raised his hand. So sir, you can ask your question if you want.
Yes, he can unmute himself and ask the question.
See, I think he's asking what is the use of user address. User address is only for your information. If you would like to enter, so that's why we made it is a non-mandatory. So you would like to, add the address of the user. Okay, entity address. So this is for your information. You want to for your record.
There's another question on how much is the cost per package. So ma'am, can you take to the plans and pricing? So all the admins of this account for the registration, the admins will have access to plans and pricing. And here you will see all the details for the free basic package, for the pro package and premium package. Okay, so it explains the monthly plan, quarterly plan, annual plan. In basic pack, it's free. As I said, number of entities is 100. The number of users is 5. This basically means the users of your particular practicing firms. So you can have up to 5 users from your practicing firms use this software. They can have their unique accounts created. For client users, it's not included. The storage space is 10 GB. Modules, basic modules, if you see at the bottom, it is giving you the basic modules, which include secretarial, legal, compliance, contract, litigation, assessment, registration, documents, insurance, task, and legal updates. So there is a bunch of modules which are called basic modules, and they are a part of the free package. And the laws covered are Companies Act, FEMA, income tax, GST, and SEBI regulations. This is mostly from the point of the compliance module. Uh, so this is about the basic, and if you want to go deeper, there's the pro and premium package also, which you can refer. So what I suggest is to all the attendees, let us discuss the plans and pricing at the end. We'll have an open Q&A session on that also. We can focus on the secretarial module today, which is the subject of the training. So any questions on the common masters? I believe there are no more questions. Neera ma'am, you can continue.
Yeah, let me proceed with the secretarial. So you see here at the top is a secretarial module, and within the, if I click on the compliance, I will see the dashboard of the compliance. If you click on any module, you will see the system will take you to the that module. Let me click onto the secretarial. So before going into the secretarial module, I just want to a little bit debrief you about how many we are covering. At least 3 modules. You know, you are managing your all the your registers and all that, and you have information about the company and all the directors information. So that we are covering through the company master transaction registers is a one module. I will cover this in detail. And the second, you are also holding the meetings like board meetings, AGM and EGM, etc. So that you can cover by the meeting module. And third one is you can do the secretarial tasks, secretarial compliances that covered under the secretarial task tracker. So let's start with the first module, which we say you maintain your, but even if you create a meeting, you need to create the company here. So there is a difference. Here also I have created the entity. So if you want to create any company in the secretarial module, you first need to create as a group and entity. So whatever group and entity you will create into the common master, only those will be visible over here. So you can see here. So here you in company master, these are the secretarial company master. In company master, you will see security class, company profile, director member profile, directors and KMP and members. Let me explain. Company profile means you can create, suppose within your organization you have 5 companies, so you can create 5 companies. And if you are providing the services to the client group companies, so you can create those companies also with the company profile. And then you can director member profile means there's a general profile, because any person within an organization can be a director, can be a KMP, can be a member, and all the 3. So you don't have to create these 3 profiles when you are creating director, creating KMP or member. So we have one general profile. So whatever you are creating in general profile can be mapped either as a director and as an KMP and as a member. Member is only when you are having dealing with the share holdings. So if you are having the you are doing the share accounting also, then you need to create the members. So, and if you are doing the share accounting, then also you need to create the security class. So let's create the, if you are just to explain you security class. So first is, if you are doing the share accounting, then you need to create the security class. So you can create here these are the 5 by default is given by the system. You have bonds, commercial paper, debentures, equity, and preferences. So let me create one security class as an equity. 202. We are doing hands-on practice so that you know how you can use the data. So you have created by, I have just plus icon and you see the question mark. Question mark is that the help is also provided. Various places we have added question mark, and you see here the modification button, and you can see the view button. So we have created security class. Let's create the company profile. So company profile, again, we have already, I'm just sharing with you our, training data or the demo data. Or so let me create, we say company master, and I'm clicking onto the plus icon. So when I click onto the plus icon, so you know that we have just created one entity within the Xerox group. There are in Xerox group, there are two entities. One I have already created before. So I will see only the entity which I have not created the company for the secretarial. Let's pause for a minute. What does it mean? It means in common master, if suppose if a common master, you have created 10 entities, only those entities will be visible under this client group. If you have not created any entity in a common master, then those will not be listed when you enter the company master data here. So I have selected Xerox. If you see, if I select Complementary Technologies, nothing is coming here. Why? Because all the entities which I have created in the common master, we already created company for that. So it means whichever company you have not created in the secretarial module, only those will be listed here. So I have just created in front of you Xerox, under Xerox group, one entity, Xerox Bangalore. So it is showing here. Now authorized capital is mandatory. So let me, this is just a test data, because I'm not looking into the site and finding it out. So authorized capital you have to mention, and you all are domain experts, so these details will not go into it. And paid up capital will be auto calculated. If you're having the share accounting, you're doing it from all the transaction share management, all this be auto populated, auto calculated when you do the transaction allotment, transfer and all that. So it is not, it is just displayed here. Date of incorporation means when this company has been incorporated. So I'll just select the date of incorporation, and then address. So just you need to enter the address, registered address, and the state. So state, so state is I have entered. So you see here the red asterisk is only appearing on the client group, entity, authorized capital, registered address, and you have a state and date of incorporation. And I can simply save save the record over here. But if we are doing the share accounting, then it is the most important is to do the security information. So if you are not doing share accounting, you can simply save the record. So record has been saved. So, but I would like to show you how we are doing the share accounting also. So let me use the security class. So class of security, we have just created equity and nominal value. So nominal value is 100, and whether security in demat. So if I'll say yes, then I have to enter IC number. If I say no, then IC number is not mandatory. If I say yes, then I can create the demat and IC number is mandatory. So this is the basic information, and let's spend 2 minutes onto the folio number of prefix and certificate prefix. Folio prefix means in company, if you are using any prefixes when you are issuing the certificates, if you are giving the shares, then you need to enter the folio number here and also the certificate number. Suppose if I enter here Xerox folio this, so and if I say Xerox certificate hyphen, so it means whenever I am creating any doing any transaction for the person, then folio number will be prefixed by XF hyphen and certificate number will be prefixed by the XC1. If XC hyphen, sorry, if I'm not giving any information here, if I'm not setting any folio or the certificate prefix, then when you are doing the transaction, the first allotment number will start from the 1. And even if I'm giving, suppose XF hyphen, then it say XF1. It will always start from the one number. But if you are giving prefix here, so when you are doing the share accounting, you doing the allotment, then that will be prefix. So let's use this prefix, because if you're having the couple of client groups and all that, they must be having some prefixes. So let's see, this is, so I have done the prefix over here. So I'm saving this information, and you can add multiple here by clicking on the plus icon. You can add, and X means deletion, so I'm deleting it. So I don't want this one. So now we have set up the one company with the security information. So let's save it. So you have set up the company. Now the next step is that you have some director in the company. So what you will do, first thing, you will create the general profile. Say director or member profile master. So like you in an organization, you have a HR department. So HR department, you have the detail of all the resources. And then you can maybe different function, different versions, they will use it, but there will be one profile only. So let's create one profile individual. So I'm just creating here one profile, suppose Aarti, and so category I'm selecting as an Indian. The various options are given. So let me just explain you. Then again, father name is mandatory. So father name is mandatory, and I'm just giving the date of birth as an just for, and then gender female, nationality Indian, and occupation I'm just saying computer professional here. So and present address is Gurgaon. So this is general profile. So if this is only I'm creating the minimal information, and I can create this person as and save the record. So it means I have created the member, I have created a person general profile, and in case if I would like to have it that person as a director, and you all very you know that for the director you need to have a DIN number. So if I'll say the DIN number, so it's an 8-digit character. So you need to enter the DIN number, and you see the system will guide you automatically. So if I'll say save, so because you have entered the DIN number, means you are creating the one person whose credential, who will be acting as a director. So you need to enter the PAN number. And suppose if I enter anything wrong template, so it will tell you, now it is telling me to enter the email address. And it will also prompt me to enter the telephone mobile number, because these are the mandatory. So let's save it, because now I'm creating general profile. So now I can create this person. I can do the share accounting for this person, and I can map the person as a director. And you also know that the person, if you want to make it the person as an KMP. So for KMP, the person has to be a member of institute. Suppose if I say ICSI, then I'm entering the information. I say it's a membership number. So let's recap. So we have entered the mandatory information, base information. And then we have entered the information if the person holding a position as a director. And also we can make the person as an KMP. So let's save it. And you also have, if you're creating, let me tell you, you can also create a member as an entity. You may be having share accounting, you're dealing with the entity, so you can create entity. Let's save it. So you have created one profile with all the details of the person. So that we have completed this one general profile. Let's see how you can map the director or can create the directors. So if you see here the plus icon, again the same strategy, but if I want to see in the Xerox India, this is a filter. We always call this is filter. So let me see if anyone is a director in this Xerox India. So I'll click onto this. Okay, there are two people are the director, like Hari Bala and Neera Singh, and we have given the DIN number, PAN number, client group. You'll see all the detail, date of board resolution, date of first appointment. Please always remember, this is not the actual data. This is the test data, or this is the training data. So current designation, and this is a UDIR 8 and MBP 1, you can create it. So this is just to you how you can filter, how you can see the dashboard. So this is a reset button. Let me reset it. So then when I'm resetting it, so we call at the bottom, this is table grid. These are the table grid and these are the filters. Across the product, we call this is a table grid. These are the filters. Now let's create one director. So we have just done so all the client groups, just remember all the client groups which you have created in the secretarial module. If you have created only common master, those will not be listed here. When you have created in the secretarial module client group, those will be visible here only. So you say client group and entity. I'm saying I want to make the director in the Bangalore, Xerox India. So now I say it will be visible. So you see here, Hari Bala and Neera Singh name will not be visible because they are already been appointed as a director into this entity. So all the people, other people name will be listed here. So I'll say director Aarti, and type of interest, if I'll say director, and date of board resolution 1st of January, date of first appointment, and then you see asterisk means mandatory information, and then original designation is a director, and then current designation is a director. So I've created, you can create multiple directors also. So let's create another person also. Let's create Abhinandan and as an shareholder. And I'm just saying, so you can create. So let's save it. So we have created director, and we have created, again, just recapping, security class, company profile, we have created general profile, we have created one director. And let's go to in this, now we have just created in Xerox. So you'll see that, you'll be seeing the director over there. So now let's go to the KMP. So now if you want to again all the KMP of this, you can see the KMP with the client group. And if you want to create one KMP, again, I'm just saying, suppose you have created one general profile and the person name is not visible over here. When I select it, so it means it is written here. It means you have not given the member ICSM. You have not these institute of membership in the director. So even when you create the director, if the person name is not visible, it means in the general profile, you have not entered all the information belonging to the director, like your DIN number, your PAN number, your email address and all that. So mandatory information have to be entered into the general profile. Only then that person will be listed over here. So see, I'm just making the person as an CEO. This is just for example and doing the hands-on practice with you. So that you know that there's no reappointment. So we have created one KMP. So let's see the KMP. I just want to see in the Xerox India. So if I want to print also, suppose if I'll say, so this is a filter. So you can see, suppose a person, then you can see the details over here and you can modify also. So if you want to modify the details, you can simply click onto the, as I said earlier, an eye icon means you can view the details. So this is the way you can view. And if you want to delete it, this cross button, you can delete it also. So now we have created KMP. Let's do the member. So in member, so all the members are listed over here. You see different client groups. And then let's see now, create the more member. So now I'll say client group, Xerox group, entity, Xerox India, and then I'm selecting Aarti. So I'm creating one member. For this member, I can do the share accounting. So if you want to do the share accounting for the person who is general profile you have entered, you have to map the person as a member. So just to recap, security class you need to create. If you need to do share accounting, company profile, you need to create company profile for that company with which you will be using in the transactions, registers, meetings and all that. And then you need to create general profile, like your own details into the member profile, and map the person as a director, map the same person as a KMP, map the person as a member. So just give a pause for a minute now, because this is a logical ending. So any question? I think it's better if you just raise, not raising hand, just talk about just ask the question, then it will be easy to.
Yeah, Neera ma'am, actually, we have to unmute the attendees before they can ask. So that is why we are requesting them to raise hand so that we
Okay,
can.
okay.
Yeah. So as Neera ma'am requested, please raise your hand for a question that you might be having on the company masters that she just explained. Any questions from anybody? I believe it was pretty simple and there are no questions.
Okay.
Ma'am, you can move
Yeah.
on.
I'll continue with this.
Sure.
Just so we have created the details of the company, we have set up the one company. Now let's go to the transaction. So like we said earlier, we have a transaction. So transaction means you are doing the allotment, split and transfer. And then you can create the MGT4, MGT5 for the beneficial owner. You can create these forms. And if you have done the transfer, share transfer, you can do SH4 generate, and the security certificate, you can generate SH1. So this is the way you can do the transactions. And once you do the transactions, then you can also generate the registers. In registers, you have a register of director of NKMP, register of member, and register of share transfer. So these three registers, all the data which you are inputting through the company master and doing the shareholding transactions, it will come into these first two and the last register of share transfer, and other four are the standalone registers not linked to the any other data. So we'll come to this later on. Let's see how the transaction works. So when I click onto the allotment, split and share, so you will, this we call, and nothing will be displayed on your dashboard. We raise sometimes people say we have done the transaction, I'm not able to see anything. Why? Because to see the data on dashboard, you need to select the client group and then you need to select the entity. So when I select entity and client group, then all the transaction which has been done for this client group and this entity will be listed on your table grid. So you see there all the transactions which has been done are listed in this client group and this entity. If I change, suppose complementary technologies, so automatically this filter will work for. So now you can see there are only 4 transactions, there are 4 allotments. So this way you can use the filter. Remember, if you are not using and selecting any client group entity, nothing will be displayed on dashboard. And you can do the, then this is the how you can see the data. And remember, when you do the allotment, you will always see there are 3 icons on the. C means generate the certificate, because when you do the allotment, the first action is that you need to generate certificate. Split means when you have generated the certificate, you can split the transaction. And in case the certificate has been lost, then you can generate a duplicate certificate. So that way you can click on icons and can generate a duplicate certificate. So that way you can do the, these are the 3. And X means deletion. So because these are the consecutive numbers, these are the sequential number. So it is, I'll just explain you 1 second. So you see here, these are the folio number and these are the allotment. So certificate number is 1, 2 and 3. The Abhinandan folio number is 1, Anshika is 2. So folio number will be the same. And these are the split certificate and all. So let's do this exercise. How we can generate the certificate, how we can do the allotment. So let's take example and do the allotment. I'm just selecting Xerox group because as of now, if you see in the Xerox group, I'll say Xerox India, and the date I'm just selecting is a date of allotment first, security class, equity. And if I select, suppose Bangalore, so you remember we have done the security class 21. We have just created, let me select the 2021 because we have just created this for information. And I'm saying 2. So if I say, it will say show allotment table. So then I will see all the details which I have to enter. So it means I'm doing the allotment now. So when I'm doing the allotment, so I'll say name. So you remember we have mapped only 3 people in the Xerox Bangalore: Aarti, Haribala, and Neera Singh. So I'll see here, I'll say Aarti. So now it is a new folio number. And because this is, Aarti is a member, but still there is no transaction has been done for her. So security, I'm entering here 100. And you see DP ID and client ID is only need to be entered if you are DMAT. Then you have to enter because you must be having the details with you. So I'm just saying physical transfer. So in a physical transfer, folio number, why it is coming new? Because this is a new member. And security, number of security which I'm allotting is 100. And you see certificate number generated as a XC1 because we have given the prefix when we are creating the company Xerox Bangalore, we have given the prefix XC1. So it is very important to remember when you do the prefixes, which company is using which prefix. If company is not using any prefix, you can leave them blank. And the distinctive number is 1 to 100 because this is 100. If I say 1000, so automatically distinctive number will be from 1 to 1000. So let's say 1 to 100. And the premium per security, I'm not giving anything. Called up 100 amount and amount paid up 100. And the security issue date, I'm just selecting again the first. So second person I'm allotting is Mr. Haribala. And then physical, this also, he's also new member. So again, I'm giving him the suppose 200. So see, XC2, second certificate has been generated. Automatically, distinctive number will get calculated, 101 to 300. And then I'm also selecting the first out. So this is basically how you can do the allotment. And I say add. So these 2 allotments. So allotment added, and you can print the list of allottees from the transaction history page also. So you see, I have done the transaction of the 2 people. Let's select here Xerox Group and Xerox Bangalore. You see here, we have done Aarti. Now folio number has been auto calculated, XF1, because this is a prefix, XF2. And here is an equity transaction and number of securities and certificate number and distinctive number. And now you see in the transaction history. So in transaction history, if you select again here Xerox Group and Xerox Bangalore, so you will be able to see the transaction history. So in the transaction history, always remember the active transaction and the one you already have the old transactions, everything will be listed in the history tab. In the history, when you come to the history, but active one will be highlighted in green color, and the old one, suppose you done the split of this. So in split of these 2, so this one XF1 XC1 certificate, this certificate will be in a, we will do that also. So let's go back to the, so we have come to the transaction history. So let's go to the home page. Home means this is a home button. So allotment, we have done the allotment. We have just done the allotment. I'll just again show you. So we have completed the allotment of 1 company. So you can generate the certificate. So if I want to generate the certificate, I can, if I want to delete, suppose I have done some mistake over here. Instead of 200, it should be 300 or some other security. So I can delete it. I can redo the transaction. So let's generate the certificate of this. Then here is then 200, and let's the date. If I'm selecting the date, calendar will be visible because, and then place of signing is that, suppose Gurgaon, I'm say okay. So it means I have generated 1 shared certificate. So you see here, now it is come split. So once you generate the certificate, you can split it. and you can view the details by clicking onto the eye icon, and D is a duplicate. If you click onto the duplicate, you can generate the duplicate certificate. You need a board approval also, duplicate certificate, and then you can also do the split. So let's do the split of this also. So I'm just doing the split of one certificate because I have generated certificate. I can do the split. I'm saying 2, and I need to tell the system that if I'm splitting, in which way I want to split, how much share I want to split. So I'm saying I have, maybe it's a 200 shares. So I'm saying 150 and then 50. If I say here 60, so you'll see the system will give you the, if I say split, it'll say sum of total number of split securities should be equal to total number of old security, because I cannot say from 200 you give the 210. So system will prompt you. So I have to say 50. And you see new certificate number, it is auto generated, XC3, XC4, and distinctive number automatically generated. So you say split. So I have now done the split of this. So now you know that once you have done the split, you cannot do further. You have to you have to generate the certificate. Now let's see the transaction history. Why I have done the split? Because I wanted to show you. So you see Xerox Group and Xerox Bangalore. So now you will see the whole information. You see I have done the split. So it is showing me these are the active and these are the one certificate I have splitted. So these are the transaction type is coming split, and these are the allotment. The old one is not highlighted, and the latest, which are green, it means these are the active. So this way I can do the history also. So you can see when suppose you are doing the certificate, these are share accounting you are doing. So share accounting pattern you can see through the transaction history. So we have done the how to allot it, and then after allotment we have done the split also. And then let's see the transfer. I think transfer is very self-explanatory. I think you can, I will show you. So if I'm doing the transfer, so I have not assigned anything to Aarti. So for Xerox India, if I'm doing, so let me first see that Xerox Group, Xerox Bangalore. So why I'm not able to see anything? Because I have to generate the certificate. Without generating the certificate, you cannot do the transfer. So let me again select the, I think, date. So place is Gurgaon. So I'll say add it. So it means I have generated the certificate. Now I can do the transfer. So if I do the transfer, so let's see, for Aarti, we have done it. So you see one, we can see here. So let's do the transfer for this. And if transferee, if I'm selecting, suppose Neera Singh. So Neera Singh, I have not allotted anything. So Neera Singh will get a new folio number. So during allotment, if the person is new, suppose if I select here Haribala. So Haribala already has the folio number. So you get automatic the folio number which is already assigned to Mr. Haribala. And if I'm saying Neera Singh, then new, it is coming new. And this is the first transfer. So I'll say T1. So it is a numeric value only you can enter. System will guide you. So wherever system wants to tell you, they will tell you what data should be entered here. So date of transfers, I'm selecting 1st of January. Date of submission also, if I'm selecting, and say date of execution 23rd. So I'll say submitted. So this I've done one transfer. So you see, you have done SH4, you can generate it. And then once you do the SH4 here, you can directly go here and generate the share transfer form also. So that way you can do. So we have done the allotment, we have done the split, and we have also done the transfer. So this way, this, share holding, all this works. One very important thing to explain you, what is the purpose of the initial shareholding? Suppose you are providing services to some of any client group or company, and they are 20-year-old, and they have a share accounting, they have a share pattern, the 500 shares they have it, but out of 500 there may be live only 30. So, and you want to capture all the details into the system And you remember when we do this thing in company master, we said paid up capital and amount, total amount will be calculated based on this. So if you want to do the initial shareholding, means the old shares which you have, which are still live. So let's do one example for this also. So if I select Xerox Group, and you will see automatically if I'm saying Xerox Bangalore, and if I select the security class, it is telling me, system is telling me that I have already done the online transaction for this group. So I cannot do the online transaction for any group or entity where I have already done the live, because you know that certificate number, folio number and all generated automatically. So system takes the last folio number, last certificate number. So you cannot do the initial shareholding if you already have used the live system. Live system means directly from the allotment. So if you want to do the old security, you want to, then you need to enter first initial shareholding. Once you complete in your initial shareholding, then you need to come into the allotment. Let's take one example. So let's do here. I'm selecting Xerox Group and I'm selecting Xerox India. Let me see if it's already there. So it means for this, I have not done any. I'll just example only one for quickly. So entered. So I have not done live transaction for Xerox India. I have done the live transactions for the Xerox Bangalore. So that's why system is not allowing me to do the initial shareholding to enter the old certificate details, old share details, which are live. So let's do this thing one. So is then all the names which she mapped to the Xerox group are appearing here. So let's do for the Neera Singh. And again, it is a physical, if I'm saying folio number. See, it is very important to understand that folio number is, I'm doing for the Xerox India. So folio number, if I'm entering 1, so I have not remember that whether in Xerox India, I have entered any prefix, because it is important for me to enter the prefix. Otherwise, all the share transfer will be the wrong. So if for Xerox India, so I have not entered any prefix and certificate prefix. So what I'll do, I'll start from the 1 or whatever you have pattern in your hand, because you must be having a hard copy. So from hard copy, you will be entering here. So that's important. You keep all your data together and then you come into the system and you say Xerox India. And now I'm doing the only 1. You can do 10, 20, 30, 300, whatever, say enter details. So I'm just selecting Neera Singh. Even if I selected Aarti, so this will be the new, because we have the new entity here. So I say here, so I would like to now say physical, folio number, I'm giving 1. So number of securities, again 100. Certificate number, now I am entering manually. You must be having hard copy. Again, I'm repeating hard copy because everything is written on a paper. So, and then I'm entering distinctive number. Suppose if I enter distinctive number, here's 200. So system will tell me that this is wrong. So this will tell you your distinctive number calculation is not correct. So acquisition date, 23rd, allotment date. So why I am doing this initial shareholding, it is important for you to understand last folio number, last certificate number, last distinctive number. Because when you go to live system, then it will, the next certificate number, folio number will be generated, auto calculated based on this. Because what is the last folio number? 1. Suppose you enter 30 and you have 30 here, so you will enter 30 over here. Or you enter 300 last folio number, so please enter 300. So last folio number 1, last certificate number 1, and last distinctive number 1. Please always remember to enter this, and it is written very clearly. These values will be used when you will do the online transaction. So here you say added. So you have added 1 initial shareholding done. You can again do the initial shareholding for the same company because you have not done the live. If I do directly from here, start doing allotment for that company, then you will not get an option there. If I say it's a Xerox India, and if I choose the date, if I do any live transaction here, so I will not get in this option. So you will see there. because Xerox India, Haribala is new. So number of security, if I say 100, and you see the physical, then automatically certificate number has been generated too, because last folio number we have entered 1. So that's why certificate number auto calculated. So very important to remember, last folio number, last certificate number, last distinctive number should be correct. Only then this information will be calculated, and issue date I'm saying 23rd and add it. So now I have made the live transaction. If I'll go live over here and I again select this group, Xerox India, it will not allow me. So it stopped me. So I hope this concept understood by you, because if you are doing share accounting for any company, if you have old shares, live shares, and you want to have in the system, so you can do through initial shareholding. After that, you can do the live allotments. So we have covered mainly this transactions. Once you understand, I think this is self-explanatory. You can generate the SH1 certificate if you can select one, and you can generate the SH1. So these are the things, you all are the domain experts. So it's more important to explain how the application works. So we have finished. This is one exercise. So now I'll give a pause and any question. Please unmute yourself and ask the question if you have.
Any questions from any of the attendees for the company masters transactions? So I believe it's pretty clear.
Okay, so let me just select again, show you what we have done just now. So
Sure.
we have done the allotment here, and we have done also the Xerox India. So we have done one via initial shareholding, and one live we have done it. So that way you can see the certificate number 2 for Haribala, for Neera Singh 1, because Neera Singh has been done initial shareholding. So this is the whole pattern which will be now explained to you. Now let's see the registers, because I'll quickly take the registers for 5-10 minutes, then I'll go to other modules. So go to the registers. So registers, basically register of director and KMP. So whatever transactions you are doing it, you can generate the Xerox India. If I'll say it, so I'm saying I can select the date here, or I can directly do. So we have just done the sum transaction. You see register of director and KMP with their shareholding data. So here, Mr. Haribala, he is a director in various companies and all that. So he's all the shareholding pattern. Shareholding will be details of securities held in the companies. This is statutory register. So you all must be very familiar with the structure. So this is register of director. So Aarti, Abhinandan, so who all are the director, their details. In the first, I think this is the name, all this is the statutory register. So you don't have to maintain anything as a paper or the offline. Just enter the data into the system, automatically registers will be generated for you. So this is register of director, and then I can see register of member. So when you go to the register of member, let me select eMinds Lifecycle and Complinity Tech, and I say the register of member. So all the members data, statutory register, we call, register of member, again, which act, companies act and all that. This is the general information. Then this is a shareholding, details of shareholding. For each member, for that company will be listed over here. So this is the register of member. And then the third, which is the statutory, which we coming from your transaction data, is the register of share transfer. So you can do, we have done one transfer, if I remember. So you can generate the register of transfer also. We have done one transfer from Aarti to Neera. So that is also coming the register of transfer. So as I said, rest of the register are standalone. Like you see register of contract with related party. Simply it is a plus icon. You do plus icon, enter all the information. All the information you can enter, and then you can generate a PDF report. Suppose if I want to generate a PDF, so I say client group and entity, and as on date, if I'll give current date. So let's see. So this register of contract will be generated. So it's very self-explanatory. I think you all are domain experts, so I'll not spend time on this. Only I'm explaining how you can do that. You just, if you want to generate any PDF, please select client group and entity. Then only you can generate the PDF. Same way you can do the register of charges. Enter all the information by clicking on plus icon. Enter all information, and if you want to modify something, and next time when you modify, suppose this we have created, and if I want to modify this first one, so what will happen? I am just giving you an example. Date of modification 23rd, date of registration 23rd. So just that you can see that. So just pardon me, because we want to quickly show you. So I want to show you how it works. So you have done choose entity here. So say, so you see here now the old record is, this is a history. It is very clearly saying H mean history. Old record is there and new, just we have done it. So it is the new record is. So if you do the 10 modification, so you'll see 9 records as an not highlighted, and the last one which is live will be highlighted. So that way you can do the register of charges and the register of investment. Self-explanatory. Please click on to the register, click on plus icon and enter all the information. And this is standalone register, as I said, and you can generate. If I select here, so I can simply send entity, and if I select the, so this is register of investment. So all these registers you can generate. So let's recap. We have done the company master. Remember, company master you can only create the company when you have created a common master. So this is a linkage between the entity client group to the company master. So you create security class. If you are doing share accounting, create the company profile, create the general profile of the one member, map that person as a director, map the person's KMP, and if you want to do the share accounting for the person, map the person as a member by clicking on plus 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 icon. Then come on the transaction. If you are doing the share accounting, click onto the allotment and split, and when you click on, then you can do initial shareholding. If you want to record the old shares also into the system, then you can do the live allotment by this, and then you can do the transfer. Just remember always, when you do the initial shareholding, last folio number, last certificate number, last distinctive number has to be added. And in the transaction history, you can see even hundred of transaction. If you have done it, you can see everything. So that way we have covered. Then you can generate registers. So I have covered the first sub module, which is actually big, and so we give a pause. Any question? Otherwise I'll go to the meetings.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I believe we have a few questions in the Q&A box. They are mostly from a business point of view. So what I suggest is these questions can be addressed and we can reply to them later, because these are mostly from the technical secretarial point of view, and there are some suggestions for new functionalities also. And as a software development team, we always take feedback and new requirements, and we discuss and we roll out those in the future releases. So we'll take care of these new suggestions as well. Any question from the software usage point of view? This software training is mostly from how to use the software. If you have got stuck in any point for using the software, then you can probably ask Neera ma'am directly how to go about it. Any questions from the software usage part?
Just remember, if you need any clarification, or please raise the ticket in help desk.
Yes.
Our support team will address that question, and if it is some related to domain knowledge, or if it is something to your technical, your own area, so then also our legal team will respond to that.
Yes, so that's the best way. I believe Neera ma'am has answered all the questions that have come since the launch of this software for the PCS. And rest assured, all your secretarial related questions and software related questions will be answered.
Okay, team, thanks for listening me for 1 hour, more than 1 hour for this company master transaction. We have completed the first sub module. Let's go quickly on to the meetings. So meetings, basically in your organization, you must be conducting the board meetings, AGM and EGM. So how to create your meetings? So again, I'm repeating that filters are, if you want to see only that client group data, that entity data, what meeting type, you have AGM, board meeting, and EGM, and meeting number, if any specific meeting number. So we call these are the filters. And from date, even you can select the from date from last financial year also. So how to create meeting? So meeting is that first, in principle, for every meeting, which are the statutory meetings like AGM, EGM, and board meeting, you need to create the notice. And once you create a notice, and for AGM and EGM, within the notice, we have given the provision, you can add the agenda. And in case of board meeting, you need to add the agenda by clicking on agenda item. And once you create the notices for AGM, EGM, and agenda for the board meeting, you can create the minutes. And once you create the minutes, you can also generate the certified true copy. So that is the last point, which you can, once you generate the minutes, you can create the CTC, and you can print it out and you can circulate it. So let's take an example of one. So create the notice. So I will take if I'll explain one type of meeting. So I want to create notice. So I have clicked onto let me come here. I clicked onto the notice. If you want to create agenda, you need to click onto the agenda. Then on the extreme left, you will see create notice, create agenda, create minutes. So I'm saying notice. Let's create one notice. So I say it's a Xerox group, and entity I'm saying Xerox Bangalore, and meeting type is board, and I'm saying this is the first meeting. So first meeting, and meeting address, I'll say Gurgaon. And you see these are the mandatory, and I can enter, say, select this thing, and I can also overwrite onto this, simply overwrite. And meeting date, if I'll say meeting date is 20, let's see the meeting date, I'm putting here as an 1st of March. So first board meeting on the 1st of March. And then if I try to save it, I'll tell you if I try to save it, it is saying choose director/KMP for the contact details for video conference. You know that board meeting, you need to have some person signing details and somebody, director or the KMP. So if you're joining through the video or not present. So right now, I have not created any master for that. So it means I've not created masters that who will be authorized for the person. I will tell you how you can create, but I can also create on the fly. So I'll say other. So I can give the name of the name here, and I can say designation. Suppose then I'm saying, and I'm entering mobile number, and then email address. And even then I also, if I say save it, so it will not allow me to save it. It'll say please person signing detail, because who is authorized. So if I have already created master for the meetings, then automatically those name will appear here. In the last, I will explain you how you can create that, but now let's do the other. So if I'll say Haribala, and designation, if I'll say is a managing director, and address is a Gurgaon, and then and the membership number, because you can enter either of one. So I'll say save it. So I've just created notice of the one board meeting. So what will happen, see, this is a Xerox group. Entity initial is Xerox BLR for board first meeting. So I can click it on the modify button, and I can change the whatever I want to change, the name and all that, or any date and all. So remember, always you can only change until unless you create the agenda. Once you create an agenda, it means you have reviewed the notice, and you can create the PDF. So you can create the PDF here. It is statutory statement here. Notice is hereby given. I think you all are an expert. I would not like to go through in detail. So name of managing director and all that, person who is signing authority. So that is coming here. So this you can print it. And in top of it, you can also send an email. So you can send an email from here. This is the to whom email address, mine email address, and if anybody want to, there is not. I have not selected anyone as a member board of director. You can enter the CC email address, subject here, and subject email body, and then you can distribute this notice from the directly from the system also. So that way you can do the emailing also. So let's create, we have created one notice, and let's create the agenda for that notice. So now I clicked on the agenda and I say create agenda. So you can also create the template. Suppose you have a board meeting templates and you say, okay, these are my 5 things I always discuss in board meeting. So you can create your own templates also. I'll show you how you can create it. So let's create the agenda for the board meeting. So I'll say create, and I'm again, you may be having, you may have created the notices for the 10 maybe meetings. So 10 different client groups and all that. So select the client group, select the entity, then you need to select the meeting number. Suppose if I select Xerox India, then nothing will appear. This I think yesterday I've created. So let's see the Xerox Bangalore. So say first. So now for board meeting, there are by default, there are some of the agenda items is a pre-mandatory. Like, so this is our predefined agenda for the board meeting. You know that appoint the chairman of the meeting is mandatory. And then you need to set the quorum of the meeting. And then you have to have then approve the convening of board meeting at a short notice. And then you also have a grant leave of absence, if any. And then you have the continue the to confirm the minutes of the previous board meeting. So these are the predefined agenda items for the board meeting. And now I'll say I would like to have all these, and I can also delete one of that. Suppose if I delete, if I don't want to have a grant the leave of absence, so I can delete it by this cross button. So this is the 4th agenda item, and I can delete it also. So I have deleted it. So then let's go to the, and now beside these mandatory agenda items, I want to add for more agenda items. I'm sure in the board meeting, you must be discussing 5 to 10 items. So you can say, if you want to add your own items, you can say, I'm just adding one. So you can enter based on your requirement. I'll say add. So what will happen? One row will be appended at the bottom. So all these will be the by there, and then I can say choose, I can select the item on my own here. So you, and choose item means Complinity provided you the resolution library. So there are some predefined, all the in board meeting generally as per the statutory law, what all discussed there. So we have already given almost 100 of the resolutions. So you can select any one of them. So any one of them you select. So we have the resolution library, and you can, I will show you at the end from where this data is coming, and you can create your own resolution library also. I suppose I select here, I want to take the loan from the director. So then what will happen when I click onto this? You see, when I selected this, automatically you will see this details have coming. If I select some other, so their detail will be reflected. Let me select about again. So if I'm taking the loan from the director, I'm saying loan from the director. So this all the statutory requirement. So you say this board meeting I'm convening to take the loan from the director. For that I have to have a board meeting. So maybe I would like to take 50 lakhs. 50 lakhs, and then I'll say, so you can, wherever you see these brackets, angular brackets, you need to overwrite it. You need to remove those brackets. Suppose on 5% interest, and I'll say Mr. Hari Bala. So always remember, if you do not remove these brackets, blue color brackets, then system will not allow you to store the data, because this is a statutory text and statements which we have provided. You need to enter whatever the decision, whatever the agenda items you are performing. So say Mr. Hari Bala, I'm just doing it quickly. So I'm creating one agenda where you need to have an agreement from the board of directors that I can take a loan from the, and this way, and what is the interest rate you can enter here. So so all the blue color in, because you whatever decisions you are taking, and again he resolved further that this is all the statutory as per the, it is important to show you how we can create. Now remember I told you there is a angular bracket, so I have to see wherever. So here you see here the further information board that there is an urgent requirement. So I'll say maybe I don't want to have this short notice. Maybe I'll say just test over here. So I'm just keeping this as an information. And then also let me try to save it. You'll see what information you will get. It says serial number for any other item is not mentioned. So last is any other item. So I need to go and check because I have to delete it one meeting. So I need to check my serial numbers. So whatever serial number I have entered here, I need to ensure that that serial number is on the sequential manner. So the fourth we have deleted. So I'll put it fourth over here. So, and then I'll see that the last one is this one. So and you see you can save the template here also. When you save the template, it will ask you to enter the name. So please enter the name of the template here and you can save it. So if you have more agenda items, you can add it also. Let's save this thing. So this meeting which we have created just now for one board meeting, we are just saving the agenda for that meeting. I think I've created, just give me a minute. Sorry, I think I've not saved it. That one row is appended successfully. So just meeting number 1 and the date putting first, then so this is your, you can change the text also based on your requirement. So you can change the text over here, whatever you want to, whichever way you want to write. But this is giving the, you know, standard template, which we, as per the statutory requirement. So I can save one agenda item, and once I save it, so then thanks for you being patient because it's important for me to show you. So then I try to save it. Okay, this is saying processing. I think it's earlier I've not cleared the. So just to explain you, you can create. I have to refresh the memory. So you can create an agenda in this way. So once you create an agenda, so you can create the minutes also. So you say create the minutes. So here you will see for whichever you want to create the minutes. So you can choose the meeting type and your meeting number. So you can create the minutes for this and you can simply go and save it. And when you save it, it is say conclusion time, when time this is finished. So after that, and you need to enter the in-person name, Christo Rosso and Hari Bala have attended. So you can save it. You can create the minutes also. So once you create the minutes successfully, then you can create the CTC. So how the CTC you can create it? You can create the CTC. So again, for creating the CTC, you need to enter the and meeting number for which meeting type, and you need to select, suppose, and create the CTC. So CTC is created successfully. So when you go to the item passed, all the CTC which is created will go into the item passed. So you see there are a lot of decision has been taken to appoint the chair. So wherever decision has been taken, you can print it here. So like you can auditor, you can print it. This is ADT one form basically. So you can print the CTC and then you can distribute it also. So this is the way you can create an notice, and you can create an agenda, and you can create minutes and item pass. Suppose you want to create one, by mistake you have create 1 minute which you want to delete it now. Somebody has asked question. So until unless you have created, you lock the minutes, this delete button will be available. And wherever you have already distributed your minutes, so you will see the log button. It means you have uploaded the log button, you have uploaded the already minutes, official minutes here. So let's see, this is the, I can upload the minutes. So when I want to upload the minutes, so I'll say date of entry into the minutes and date of signing into the minutes, and select director, and which minutes, then I'll select whatever minutes you have prepared, you must have stored into the local directory, and I'll say the upload sign minutes. So date of entry cannot be greater than, so it must be old minutes. So let me, I have to check it, what was the date of entry. So if I'll close it, so because your date of entry, whatever the minutes, so you have to enter the same. So then the minutes will be logged, and this is not this still, so I can delete it. So say, are you sure you want to delete it? So if I delete the minutes, so then I can go and change the agenda. So you cannot you cannot delete any notice if you have already created agenda. You cannot delete the agenda if you have already created the minutes. And you can create the item passed. So if you want to delete the whole meeting, here you can delete only one item at a time. If you want to delete all whole meeting, so you go to the secretarial master. Here you see the delete meeting. So delete meeting means you would like to delete the whole meeting. You select the client group. Because I have not created anything, so you select the software. So you need to select the board meeting. So which meeting you want to delete it, select the meeting one, and you say the remarks and click onto the delete. So then it will ask you, are you sure you want to delete? So whole board meeting will be deleted. So just to remember, if you want to delete whole meeting, you will come here. And if you want to delete one agenda at a time, and then you can delete one by one. So this is a way you can create and here when you say create notice, so I just want to quickly touch base here. So you can select an entity, and then you can select meeting type, AGM, EGM, and board meeting. For board meeting, you need to create separate agenda. For AGM, here you will see items. So in items, if you create one, so you can create one row is appended successfully, and same resolution library will be selected here, and details will be listed, statutory requirement, you need to remove all this and save it, and then you can create the minutes, etc. So this is the full work process for the meetings. And PDFs you can generate it. Any question?
Neera ma'am, most of the questions are coming in the written form.
Okay, maybe at the end we will address, we'll see that questions.
Sure.
So if you all are okay, then I'll, last point is secretarial task tracker.
Yeah,
so let me, so I'm just, so we have covered the company, we have covered the meetings, we have covered now we'll be covering secretarial task tracker. So you know that you are having statutory events compliances. So you can also trigger those compliances, those events from the secretarial task tracker. Complinity has provided you almost hundreds of the events which you can trigger it. So let's see how you can, if I click onto the secretarial task tracker, so you will see, we call this a dashboard. So all the tasks which we have created will be listed over here. So let's create one event. So I'll say click onto the, again remember I'm clicking onto the plus icon. So click onto the plus icon. I'm say request date is 23rd. Client group is Xerox group and entity is Xerox Bangalore. Event, if I'm saying board meeting, suppose if I want to show you all the steps which you need to perform, and we say board meeting has to be performed on the 1st of March. So, and you say the manager I'm selecting here, and the owner is say Neera, and then I'm say this is a board meeting. Whatever text you want to add it here, board meeting. So you see there, when I have selected the event convening of the board meeting, so all these are the predefined tasks which to convene the board meeting, what all needs to be done. So you see the sequence number, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, task name is coming here, like circulation of notice and agenda, signing of attendance sheet, circulation of draft minutes, due date, and signing of minutes, etc. And then circulation. So these are the all the, and the last one which is coming in 201, it is added by me. So 1 to 6 are given by the Complinity repository. It is from coming default. If you and this 201 added by me for this convening board meeting. So then I'm saying alert days 7 and escalation days 4 means 20 days before, 7 days before 22nd of February, Neera and Bala will get an email. So if I can change the name of the owner also. By default, whatever owner I have selected, I can change the name of the owner here also. So that way, and how and what is the meaning of the dependent task? I think you all must be familiar. You cannot do the signing of minutes before the due date of the next board meeting, before having the board meeting. So it means the 5th task is depending on the 4th task. So then date will be calculated based on the 4th task plus number of days. You see days from the dependent task means this task is last 201 tasks is dependent on the 6th task, and the 6th task is dependent on the 5th task. So until unless the 5th task is done, 6th cannot be done. And you see the days from the dependent task means whatever I have selected, the statutory date will be calculated based on the event date. I have said 1st March 2021. Immediately statutory date will be calculated based on the these. So I say 22nd February, it means 7 days before, -7. So we need to circulate the notice of agenda, and then signing of attendance sheet on the 1st. 0 means even date plus 0 day. 1st March -7 days. 1st March plus 15 days. 1st March plus 120 days. So that from the date of event plus these days dependent from the, this will be gets auto calculated. So statutory dates gets calculated based on the event date plus your days from the dependent task. So that way we have calculated all these dependency. So you say if task is dependent on which task and which and how many days after which event you have triggered, you need to perform that statutory action. And any form number you can add it here on your own. If anything you want to additionally give the. So when I say this thing and let me say add. So task added. So we have just created one event, which is convening of the board meeting, and I have just created for the Xerox group. So you can see the 7 tasks. I've just created in front of you convening of the board meeting. So all those statutory dates will be here, and users will keep getting the reminders. So you see the I button to see the details, and to modify it, you can only modify what action has been taken, what are the internal remarks, what are the client remarks. If you are doing taken action for the external, so you can enter and you can attach the file. So file attachment, you can do it. So you can attach the file, and then this way you can enter all the, you can modify the details. So, and owner manager, I can change even owner manager here also. So this way I can perform the task. So I'll say save it. So you can trigger the events. So I will not take, now you know how to trigger the event. Just go into the plus icon and select the event from our resolution library. There are a lot of events are given there. So you can select it just to show. And you see all the charts and graphs also if you click onto this task tracker graphs. So all the charts and graphs will be visible, like the when the task closure date, what are, and the top 10 groups overdue tasks. And then you can see company wise. So like how many tasks are we have just created for Xerox Bangalore, and due, all 7 are due. So you can see the entity wise graphs and charts, event wise graph and chart, convening of board meeting if you see. So if I click onto the 7, so it will show me all the 7 details. So that way all these charts and graphs are clickable. So let me go back to the home. So this way you can create your own events for the secretarial compliances, and you can generate the PDF. So PDF, if you say I want to generate from first to the current date, and you can download the data. So you see, can you see the PDF? Sanat, can you see the PDF?
Yes, ma'am, we can, I can see the PDF.
Okay, so this way you can download all the PDF reports also directly through the task tracker. So I think I have logged out from the system. I actually clicked on the cross button, so that's why it has been logged out. So just to very brief recap, we have covered the secretarial task tracker, and now I want to just touch base for 5 minutes the masters. So remember I told you, you have an event task. There are a lot of events are mapped. We just covered the event task. How many events are downloaded into your repository? Because these are our repository resolutions which we have defined. So all these event tasks you can see. All this is for public and private, which has been given. These are the services which is provided by the Complinity to you. So you can create all these event task mapping. So that way you see the library here. And just to remind you, you can also create your own event task also. You can create event and your own event task also. You can create the same way, give the event name, task name, alert days, and escalation, dependent task. If you say 10, then it is dependent. So you can create your own event also. If you can create your by giving the event master, create your own event, and by going onto the event task, so you can see what all events are offered by the Complinity. By coming over here, you will be able to see all the events. And another thing which I want to explain you, the resolution of agenda items. So remember, I have selected like a loan. So taking to grant the loan to employees and to take the loan from the director. This is coming from our library. So agenda items and resolution library, it is coming from their agenda item and resolution. So that way you are getting this agenda item and resolution. So meeting type, as you know, we have a 3 meeting type. You can create your own meeting type if you want to. So you can have, but that will follow the board meeting workflow. And then you also have a notes for general meeting. You can create your own notes by clicking plus icon. And remember, I've told you when we're creating notice, I did not see anything in the Xerox. If I click onto the Xerox group, then I click Xerox Bangalore. So this name will be appearing, if I say this name will be appearing when I've created notice. So coming from the masters. So these are the masters which you need to create it there. I could create it ad hoc there also, and you can create it directly from here also. So notice signing details. So these are the masters. You can play around, you can understand. Delete meeting we already covered. So this is basically the secretarial task masters. Above the task tracker, which we say covering secretarial task tracker, meeting is covering all the meeting. And the most important thing is the documents. So if you click onto the document module, you see it will come in the product secretarial. All the documents which you have uploaded or created into the system will be displayed onto, when you see this is document repository. So you have the document repository, you can see all the documents which have been uploaded into the system. So in 21st, we have just, one register of charges I have uploaded there. So that is also displayed here. So this is the documents which you're seeing, and you can create your own documents. So you can create your own documents. I can select Xerox, and then I can select document type, public, private, protected. Public means only everybody can see. Private means only people who have the same department location can see. Protected means only you can see and your senior manager can see. This way you can upload lot of your own internal documents also, where you have an expiry date and say choose file, and you can upload the file. So that way you can create your document repository. So these all the documents which are, and remember here is a secretarial module, and if you select the compliance module, then all the documents which you have uploaded, you will be uploading into the compliance, will be listed onto the compliance documents will be covering here. So basically we have just covered registers, statutory registers, company masters and all, meetings, how you can create the meetings for board meetings, AGM, and the task tracker, you can create your own events. So from my side, I have completed the overview of the all sub modules of the secretarial. We can take an Q&A session now.
Thank you, ma'am. That was very interactive and very a lot of new insights into the secretarial module. I believe you've covered almost all the functionality, and it is always nice to learn from you. So to the attendees, any questions at this point? Uh, in short, we have covered company masters, where you can store company director, KMP member information. In the transactions, you can basically capture all the transaction of your securities like share security and other types of security. You can allot, split, and transfer shares, and all these transactions will be captured. Registers, you can generate registers at the click of a button. You have a nicely formatted PDF which you can circulate internally and maybe use for filings as well. Meetings, you are able to generate notice. You can map agenda items. You are getting a library of agenda items and resolutions. And you can also capture the minutes and pass those agenda items, which you can always refer maybe 2 years down the line. If you want to know which all agenda items were passed, you can do a very quick search based on the filters and the search box. And finally, secretarial task tracker for all event-based compliances, there are different tasks assigned to all these event-based compliances. And if you want to monitor the status of each task, you can do through the dashboard. So you have a platform where you have a real-time dashboard. You can store all your documents digitized in a digital format. And basically, you have MIS, where you can generate reports at a click of a button, and it all saves you a lot of manpower and effort. So I believe all in all, it's a very nice software, and we encourage you to use it. If you have any questions, any clarifications, there's a help desk module on the top. And I believe Neera ma'am has been answering each and every questions very diligently, whether it be a business logic question or a software logic question. So I want to thank Neera ma'am for taking out the time and doing this training.
Sannad, just want to address one question which is
Sure.
coming from 2-3 people.
Sure.
Word document, as of now, you cannot download the minutes and anything in the Word document. Is a PDF is available to you, so only PDF can be used.
Any particular reason, ma'am, why we are not giving the Word at this stage?
I think it is mainly we are checking up with the licensing and how you can modify and do the versioning and all that.
Okay, so we are working on it. Whenever we have the solution, we'll roll it out in one of the releases, right? Any other questions apart from the Word document? Mostly from a software usage point of view, any issue that the attendees are facing?
Please remember, just to add on, you raise the ticket in helpdesk, click onto the helpdesk module, click on plus icon, select your company, client group and company, and just whatever query you have it or any issue you are facing, you can raise the ticket and you can attach the file also where you are facing an issue. And you, when you click, when you add it, so it will, we all, our support team will get an email that new ticket has been raised by the client, and we discuss internally. If it is software related any error, we'll fix it. And if any query or any steps you would like to know, sometimes we write steps also into the help desk response, so that way we can support you till you are very comfortable with the system.
Yes, and we are also going to have future webinar trainings on Complinity for other modules, and we look forward to you joining for those trainings. Ma'am, you want to have the last word?
No, I would like to thank you all for listening me patiently for 2 hours. Yes, and I just hoping that you all registered whatever I explained, and we will just remember slowly we are entering the help also. So that will maybe in this, by end of this year, we'll be able to covering the help of all the modules. But thanks, just humble thanks to all of you. And please use the Complinity. It is very user friendly. And after having this training, if you have any question, feel free to raise the help desk ticket. That's all from my side.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for attending. It was a great session. Look forward to meeting you again. Thank you.